Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. Before I jump into the charts like this one, I would want to mention that on Tuesday, wickedstocks.com put out a stock pick on Teradyne Incorporated, symbol TER. That is an electronics testing company. They've been around for a while, but they're heavily involved now in semiconductors and AI. And so I just encourage you to check that out. You can see that actually for free by going to wickedstocks.com and taking advantage of our 5-day free trial. We'll have another stock pick tomorrow, Thursday. We do 2 a week. You can also see with that free trial the daily Triple Q, daily SPY analysis, daily Triple Q. Both of them are actually testing meaningful upper resistance areas that, if violated, would, I think, have, well, the beta, if you will, the correlation between Tesla and the broader market is a little sketchy now, but it does have certainly, I would think, ramifications for NVIDIA, which looks very similar to the Triple Q on its weekly chart. So I'm going to leave it at that. Go to wickedstocks.com and take advantage of that 5-day free trial. So Tesla, this is a long-term chart that spans over 5 years. The low to upper 350s remain our big picture long-term resistance.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
Able to contain buying through September, into later year perhaps, and once tested or below which, we do have longer term support that's almost not worth mentioning right now. That is a channel bottom at 255.56 that I'm going to say is attainable over the next 2 to 3 months, but certainly not expected. We would need to violate key levels on the way down, and I can get to that in a moment. But really, I also, in the same vein as the low to upper 350s, want to mention this channel top that we had. It is a 3 to 5 day objective about a week ago when we closed back above the 323.03 trend line that is at 346.10. And we have combined this. There's a number of ways to play this, as I've been saying and kind of struggling with. You can sell into the entire range if you're a longer term kind of a 3 to 5 week swing trader, then stopping out and reversing and going long with the settlement Friday, for instance, above 358.04. If we were to close the week above 358.04, we shift into a longer term bullish dynamic that anticipates 520.33 over the next I'm going to call it 5 to 8 months, could be within 3 to 5 months. But I do think that we're kind of in a new normal with respect to Tesla. I don't know about this sort of rocket ship rally to 520.38. I just don't think the stock has that anymore. I think there's a lot of challenges on the way up, which lends itself to rotations up and down all the way up. So this could spill certainly into early 26, that if we were to close above 358.04, I'm going to call it a 5 to 8 month target, and it could be sooner. So there's that. So back to this chart here, and this is really sort of speaking to 2 to 3 week swing traders. You know, we mentioned you could sell 346.14, anticipating bearish rotation not only back to 323.03, but bearish rotation down to this sort of wedge support at 304.33. So yes, if you are short now, 346.10, you're a 2 to 3 week swing trader, you are holding out for the low 300 area. You are holding out for this trend line at 304.33, where we actually could bottom out, on a weekly, possibly monthly basis and round back up again. Now, yes, we've taken the wedge top out. Will that have bullish consequences? In hindsight, yes, if we close above 358.04, but I really don't want to sort of encourage a longer term investment, if you will, in Tesla unless we do close above 358.04. Until then, we may be just yet again for the third time. Well, if you count these weekly tests, this was 3 or 4 weeks in a row before we collapsed back, and then we spiked back into it and then collapsed back. So, how many times can you chip away at this before it does begin to give way? And, so there's always two ways to see things, right? I've also mentioned that if we close today above 346.10, you can play the long side, which could be the early indication, kind of a prelude to eventually closing, say, Friday above 358.04. At the very least, there's another way to see this. So, you can kind of cut this in 2 or 3 different ways. If you're short at 346.10 and we close above 346.10, you might want to just get out of that short position, especially if your time horizon is anywhere from 3 to 5 days to kind of 2 to 3 weeks. Because, I think if we close above 346.10, 358.04 is likely probably tomorrow, Thursday. And then the critical question becomes, do we close Friday above 358.04, which would be a long-term buy signal? So, how you play this has a lot to do with your risk management, your trade execution, and your trading style, which comes down to trading psychology. So, that kind of can get deep in the weeds, and that's really not in my wheelhouse. That's not my purview, so to speak. What I do is provide the technical analysis. I'm just kind of providing you scenarios that you can trade off of. And if we close above 346.10, I do think exiting a short position is probably not a bad idea, unless you're kind of a big picture swing trader and you kind of sell into ranges. That's kind of what you do. And you hold out for 3 to 5 weeks into the low 300s. So there's that. But if your time frame is anywhere from 3 to 5 days to 2 to 3 weeks, and we close above 346.10, I would say exit a short position. And then when do you go long? You go long with a settlement Friday above 358.04. And if we do close above 358.04, I do see kind of a 3 to 5 week rally to 422.66. And that is kind of what I would call our near to midterm expectation. If we close Friday above 358.04, it is 422.66 that I would expect by the end of September. And then we're sort of well on our way to continuing north into this 520.34 region. Well, not well on our way, but we are on our way to 520.33 if we close the week above 358.04. Let's cover the downside. I've got the trend line at 323.03 and this former channel top at 325.31. I've combined these two as a session containment area. This is also a possible 2 to 3 day swing trade. So you may be short already at 346.10 because we've anticipated as a 3 to 5 day downside swing trade all along 323.03 that is combined with 325.31. So this is an area to take profits if you're a 3 to 5 day swing trader and you went short a couple of days ago at the 346.10 formation. You could also consider buying this on a 3 to 5 day swing trade back to 346.10. But if you're a 2 to 3 week swing trader, you're holding out for not only a violation of 323.03, but this channel bottom that is presently around 301, 302, and we're really rounding up to this, this wedge on the weekly chart trend line at 304.33. We will continue to nuance that support over time and take into account this channel bottom that is the base for the 346.10 channel top. Is there anything else to say? I don't think so. I'm hitting 8 minutes. I've said it all. I'm going to leave it at that for Wednesday's Tesla report. You have a great day.